Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you guys can see, we are inside because these guys have decided that it's too cold for them to go out to Keyworth.
All right, we had to show up at 8 a.m. What time did Javi show up? 8:11. Yeah, 8:15. He talked about me in a couple videos ago that I didn't want to.
This is all gonna get cut out of the intro. Anyways, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, we're at the Detroit City Fieldhouse where we're gonna do a training session here with Georgie and Kitman Moy. Obviously, it's been snowing a lot here in Michigan, so we haven't been able to go outside to Keyworth because the field is just completely covered. So we're gonna start training in here for a little bit. If we can get back out to Keyworth, we will. But for now, Detroit City Fieldhouse is where it's at. Today's video is also sponsored by Skillshare. A little bit more on that later. Let's get straight into the video. So now that we're starting to get closer to preseason, we're gonna actually bump up the intensity of the sessions. They're not necessarily gonna go for longer, but they are gonna be more intense while we're actually working. So the exercises themselves are gonna have longer work times and shorter rest times. So we're still trying to go for usually about an hour and a half is how long we spend on the sessions. So that time overall is gonna stay the same. However, the time during the exercises or the intensity of the sessions is gonna go up a little bit. So first exercise, we're gonna start off with just some balance work, nice and simple. I think balance is a very important part of the game that sometimes we overlook, so just incorporating that into your warm-up is going to help a lot. So we're going to do inside of the foot, laces, thigh, and then foot, and obviously you guys can incorporate a few other variations. Because this session is going to be a little bit more high intensity and I don't want to make it go too long, I'm only going to do a few of these. If this was a recovery type session, then I would probably extend this a little bit longer. After that, to get some explosive movements in, we'll just do some speed and agility, get those legs moving over those hurdles, and then jump over one of the big passing gates, and then a little explosive few steps right after that. So again, still part of the warm-up, except now we're really starting to stretch out the muscles. We're trying to change pace, change acceleration, get a little bit of explosiveness, and we're gonna do this for 5 to 10 minutes. It's gonna be a little bit tiring, but it's gonna give us an opportunity to bring up Georgie's heart rate, and on top of that, in between each one, he can get a few stretches to make sure he's properly stretched out for the rest of the session. It is with a heavy heart, my friends, that I have to tell you guys that I am officially retired. And therefore, when we come out to these sessions, Kitman Moy and Georgie are the only ones that are going to be doing any work, because Coach Javi is just going to run them through the session just because I've officially hung up the boots. Until next week. I want to let you guys know that Coach Javi is officially a dad now. I just had a kid, little Roman Ringo, little Roro. And these guys, while my kid is still in the hospital, we still haven't even gone home, and they're getting mad because I can't attend the session. What kind of friends? Can you believe what kind of friends are not that supportive, that they get upset with you if you don't come to a training session when you just were at the delivery of your own son? Can you believe this? So let them know in the comment section. That is completely unacceptable. Here on this channel, we support each other. We support each other on this channel. As you guys know, my philosophy, I like to incorporate something with little movement, but lots of touches to just get us started when we're actually starting to work with the ball. So I got those little speed rings, and we're gonna just do a few variations of quick feet through those, combination with some one-touch passes and taking it behind those speed rings and passing it back. So now we're just taking the ball away from the line where it came from, just like you would in a game. Obviously, if you receive a pass, you don't wanna go straight back to where the ball came from, because typically that's where the defenders are coming from. So just getting in the habit of taking it away from that and then passing it back. Oftentimes what we'll do is we'll do 3 different types of variations, and then if we can get creative, and I'll even ask Georgie or I'll ask Kitman Moy if they have any ideas of an extra one that we want to do, or if one's not working, then we'll switch it and we'll try a different one. So it's just being creative, trying different things, and just exploring new ideas. Ultimately, all of the exercises and drills that I do are ideas that I've either adapted from someone else, I've written down on my notepad, and when I came to do them, they actually worked really well, or they were exercises that have failed, but then I did some modifications to make them work, and I ended up really liking them. So because I've been doing this for a while now, I have a pretty big library in my head of different exercises that I can do. So just in the case that one doesn't work, or I'm not prepared for whatever reason, I have a bunch in my head already that I can just bring out and we can do. So speaking of creativity and getting new ideas, this is a perfect opportunity for us to talk about our sponsor for today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives. The cool thing is that there's no ads and they're always launching new premium classes on all different types of topics. So these topics include art, graphic design, illustration, and some of my favorites are the productivity and the lifestyle classes. I'm actually exploring a really good one right now by Dominic Price. It's called Building Great Teams: 8 Attributes for the Modern World. And it's focused on a system that they've developed at Atlassian, which is how they build their teams and how they work together. I'm not sure if you guys know, but I am now the head coach for the U23s here at Detroit City FC. And this being the first year, I'm building my staff and I'm trying to really put a good team together. So what I've explored in this class so far is that you have to get people who can help build a really good program or a really good team. People with different attributes, different ideas, different perspectives, things that are gonna make the organization overall a lot better. So obviously that's what I'm trying to do with my coaching staff, and this class so far has given me some really good tips on how to make that happen. So I know a lot of you guys struggle with, confidence or motivation or productivity. If you struggle on coming out to the soccer field and making a habit out of training, out of eating the right foods, there's so many different classes that you guys can explore. And it's also less than $10 a month with an annual subscription, so it's extremely affordable. And the really cool thing is, the first 1,000 people that click on my link are gonna get a free premium trial of Skillshare. So go ahead and click on that link, be one of the first 1,000 people, and just explore what Skillshare has to offer. Join some classes, discover new things and new ideas and new perspectives from a lot of different people. So we're gonna get back into this video, but huge shout out to Skillshare for being today's video sponsor.
Two, one, three, four,
And relax. This guy, it's halfway through the session and he's over here taking a nap. Look at the other minion.
What do you want us to do?
Unbelievable, these guys. They show up, want to have a session, want to get better as footballers, and then they come here and they lay on the ground and they take naps for 15 minutes.
For you to set up.
Unbelievable, mate. So make sure that when you guys are working with especially high-level players, that you guys are trying to incorporate some exercises that are going to force them to really think and challenge themselves mentally as well, because obviously football is a mental game. So this one is a little bit complicated. Usually what we're doing in this exercise is, if I call out a 1, that's the cone or the number that you go to, but in this one we switched it up. So if I call out a 1, you actually have to check to the opposite diagonal cone and take your touch towards the 1 before you pass the ball back. So it's a little bit more confusing because now you're trying to register which cone you're going to, but then on top of that you have to register which position you have to open up to receive the ball in order to go to that cone. At the beginning it was a little bit confusing, but once you get into it, once you build that habit, it's a little bit easier and it translates into a game. One. Four. Three.
Are you? Alright guys, so for fitness today, what we did was 10 yards, 20 yards, and 30 yards. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Sprint the first 10 yards 6 times, to the 20 yards 6 times, 30 yards 6 times. It's all about developing and getting back into the high intensity, focusing on form, focusing on technique, how we run, and just trying to be as explosive as possible, just so we get the fast twitch muscle fibers going as we gear up towards the season.
All right, guys, that's it for today's session. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry that we're not outside of Keyworth. We had to come into the field house, so I know the scenery is not the same. But yeah, that's it for this one. Until next time, and adios, muchachos.